first game in Tennessee with live fans. How excited for you and what does this game mean to you to actually be able to experience it?
Very excited. I got to experience it in the bubble years. I got to experience it 2 years ago out. And so this year, being able to play in that environment where that many people hate you, it'll probably be a lot of fun.
As coach, maybe you guys are too young to remember those days 20 years ago, obviously, but does UConn Tennessee still mean something to the current players? Like those old days, have you read about it, have you heard about it, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think more of my time and probably the younger guys too was like UConn Notre Dame, but when you walk in here, you kind of know that the blue hates the orange and the orange hates the blue. So it's definitely something, and you talk to all the alums and they're like, you know, you need to beat Tennessee for us. So it's a very important game. But we're just continue to try and build and become a better team, and I think this is a good test for us.
So it's almost one of those things that makes you feel more connected to the alumni in that way because it's more for them than it even is. Obviously, you guys want to go in and do your job too, but makes you feel connected to them.
Yeah, then there's a balance of playing here too, like wanting to live up to the standard that they've set and just wanting to continue to make them proud. And I know this game was huge for them back then, so it makes it huge for us right now.
Paige, coaches differ on whether they like playing a non-conference game in the middle of the conference schedule. Does it matter to players at all?
I mean, it's fun to play in these games, especially on the road in that type of environment. Obviously, with the history between the two programs, but like Coach was saying, it's a test for us. In the middle of the conference season, you can sort of get used to playing the same teams, in the same schedule, so to switch it up and have a tough opponent like that on the road, I think it's important for us.
To that point, how does it help you kind of just it's hard to manufacture being uncomfortable, especially when you guys are in a group. You've been able to kind of do what you want, figure things out in game action. So what does it do to not have to manufacture being uncomfortable? Right now you get to go in and be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Big East teams have a similar play style, so to be able to have this challenge ahead of us, I think Tennessee plays a lot different than any of the big teams we played recently. So it's good to have that challenge and have that challenge in practice with the practice guys preparing us for Tennessee in the upcoming days. So I think it's good to have that.
Tennessee is just a unique style in general, you know, with the hockey line style changes, the way they press and the threes. So what do you guys have to do to kind of make sure they don't get things going their way?
I think handle their pressure, stay composed, know it's coming, embrace that it's coming, and be prepared for it. And I think just know the personnel. They have a lot of people that come in and come out. They do different things. Some are shooters, some are not. Just knowing the personnel. Actually, they're basically all shooters. But just knowing our scout, paying attention to that, and be ready for whatever they throw at us.
Paige, what kind of challenge does this present to the team? You know, you got the travel, and you got, you know, some players not having been in really big games like this that are really hostile. What kind of a challenge is this for you and the team?
Yeah, I think it can challenge our composure and challenge how well we stay connected as a team. It'll be a tough environment, and they're going to go on runs. They're a great team, shoot a lot of threes, so it'll be a game of runs. But how can we stay connected, weather the storm, weather the runs, and continue to play our basketball? I think it'll be a good challenge.
Paige, playing in a little bigger building than certainly Big East, how does that affect things at all? And if you remember 4 years ago, the first time, or whenever you walked into Thompson Bowling Arena, what was your first impression?
A lot of orange. I mean, it wasn't the same 4 years ago when I think there was a limited capacity, but the booing was still the same. The amount of cheering against us was the same, but it'll probably just be louder, more amplified in a couple days. And we played in environments like that, and road tests like that, so it'll be probably more of the same, but probably a little bit more hate.
How do you just prepare for like this, their hockey lineups and having two people come in and out? How do you prepare for facing your opponent switching every 2-3 minutes?
Just knowing the scout, reading the scout, paying attention, knowing personnel, knowing what people like to do what, paying attention to that, and just be ready. I mean, we switch a lot of stuff too, so knowing everybody and not getting stick to, oh, this is my person, so I'm going to guard them, and I'll know their tendencies, but knowing everybody and being prepared for everybody.
Paige, as sort of the OG on the team, do you feel like you have more responsibility in a hostile environment to show the rest of the team how to play?
Yeah, I think as a leader, you need to stay composed because the younger guys will follow what I do and what the older guys do. So trying to maintain that and emphasize that in practice the upcoming days has been huge.
this game was emotional for you when you were out with the ACL. I mean, what about this game was kind of the one that hit you so hard that season, and does it kind of change how you approach it this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was the college game day experience. Everybody was cheering against us. Everybody hated us. And when you're a kid, you kind of dream of those moments. As much as you love playing a Gamble where everybody's cheering for you, you love to play on the road where everybody wants you to lose. And so definitely the emotions hit me. You kind of don't know when they're going to hit you, but they kind of just smack you in the face sometimes. So that one was emotional for me. But just, again, be able to enjoy it, be the little kid that wanted to play in those type of games and just embrace it.
A non-Tennessee game week question, but have you noticed just the growing crowds of fans as you've been leaving the XL Center when you guys are taking the bus up?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been covering this team not even half as long as most of these guys, but even 7 years. Like, seeing the crowd grow, like, what does that do to you? That there are people there, and not just for you. There's signs for Morgan. There's signs for AZ. There's signs like. What's that like to literally get like a rock star experience?
It makes you feel bad because you can't get to everybody. So as much as like you want to sign everything, you want to take pictures with everybody, probably be there all night, but just want to stay appreciative of it, just stay in a state of gratitude to where people spend their money, their time, their effort to come watch us play, and we want to perform for them and do well for them, and it just makes you extremely grateful to play here.
I feel like that's new. Like, that's new this year. Maybe there were a few stragglers last year, but like I did not see crowds like waiting in that service entrance. That's big.
Yeah, it's the new generation of social media. Everybody knows your location at all times. They know your bus routes. They know where you're staying in hotels. So I would say that's enhanced a little bit.
Fair
Who
enough.
sets the pace in this game, or are you both just going to play frantic and hope you keep control of the ball?
We want to play quick but not in a hurry. We want to be under control, but we also want to play fast. I think that's been a key in the last couple of weeks, our transition offense. But at the same time, we need to focus on our transition defense as well, because they run for layups, they run to the three-point line for threes. So it'll probably be a game of up and down, pretty fast pace.
What about this group? You kind of have all the pieces together for the first time and against a really tough road opponent. Do you guys feel like you have anything to prove as a group to people who may be ducking in for the first time this year to see this game?
Just stuff to prove to ourselves that we can handle this type of game, handle this type of environment, handle the physicality, handle the different type of opponent than what we've been playing the last couple of weeks. And we just want to continue to keep growing as a team and get better from game to game.
What are your thoughts on Asia's shoe?
It's very pretty. I mean, the colorway was amazing, but I thought the design was really cool, and just, I don't know, the uniqueness to it, and I loved the first look, yeah.
Another offbeat question. I know you were interviewed for the Unrivaled broadcast yesterday. How much have you been able to watch of Unrivaled, and what have you thought just so far of the product?
Yeah, I've watched quite a bit. It's really cool. I played 3-on-3 a little bit when I was younger, and it's very entertaining. There's no breaks, there's no stoppages other than the TV timeouts, and nobody can hide. It's basically one-on-one with three people. So if you can't guard, you can't play. If you can't score one-on-one, you can't play. So it's really entertaining, and I've really enjoyed watching it so far.
Does it make you excited to get down there eventually and join in with them?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Coach has been critical of your post-play this year, not yours, the team's post-play, but do you have faith in those guys? Do you see things happening in practice and say, man, if they just bring that to the game, we're going to be all right?
Yeah, definitely. Have the belief in those guys. They rep it. They do extra workouts, extra work in the weight room. So I know they're putting in the work. I'm a believer in the work will always show. So if they continue to stick to that, get an aggressive mentality and continue to keep working hard, that's all we can ask.
Paige, at this point in the season, how would you describe the chemistry of the team?
I would say it's pretty good, in a good spot. Obviously, you don't want to be stagnant and have whatever our chemistry is now for the rest of the season, but want to continue to keep growing from game to game. As people continue to play more, get more acclimated with playing with each other, and playing with different lineups out on the floor. But I think we're in a good spot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thanks, Paige.